Hello. What can I do for you today? Okay. I see. Well, you've come to the right place. I am Dr. Love, and this is something I absolutely specialise in, so I'm sure I can be of assistance. I've actually had a few cases here today. Yeah, you're in excellent hands, don't worry. So, let me first start by taking some details, and I'm going to run a few tests on you and see if we can just get to the bottom of this, and then I can hopefully provide you with some suitable medication to help alleviate the symptoms. Excellent. Okay, so just your first name, please, and surname. Date of birth, please. Thank you. And what would be the most suitable telephone number to contact yourself? Perfect. And have you been here before? No, it's okay. Can you just give me your national insurance number, please? Fantastic. Yeah, our database syncs with the entire medical database, so I'm just pulling up your file from your GP, and can you just confirm for me your first line of your address? That's absolutely fantastic. Thank you. Alright then, so just to clarify, how long would you say you've had these symptoms that you have noticed? Okay. Alright, that's absolutely fine. Just to reassure you, it is coming up to Valentine's season, so it's not unusual to have a greater awareness, if you like, of these kinds of symptoms. Love is in the air, and we're sort of more aware of it. There's lots of things commercially going on pertaining to it, so yes, these feelings may have been dormant for a while, but given that it's Valentine's, then obviously this sort of brings everything to the forefront, if you like. So I'm just going to run some tests just to clarify it is what we think it is, and we need to give it a grade as well. There's several levels of love, and depending on how severe depends on the treatment. Just that's the best eagle of all. Gosh, I just want to go on today. There we go. So let me just grab what I need from here. Yeah. Alright, so let me just run through. Your first basic level, if you like, is what we call puppy love, and it's quite often associated with younger sort of teenagers, and it's that crush kind of thing where yes, they're constantly in your mind and things like that, but actually given a few days that crush could effectively disappear. Yeah. The next level is infatuation, but to a healthy level. And again, we sort of work up into our degrees of love. We then have lust. That's like usually the chemical, the physical attraction. It's feels all consuming. And then finally there is love, the absolutely, unequivocal measure of love, which hopefully is long lasting, if that's what you're looking for. There is something else we're also going to look out for, and we'll be able to do an assessment on that and determine whether it is unrequited love or whether in fact it is reciprocated. Okay, so when you're thinking of some of these what we would call side effects, some of these consequences of what you're feeling, would you say you have a particular someone in mind? Right. Okay, of course, right. Alright, well, let me just first of all start by routinely taking your temperature, and I'm just going to pop it into your left ear for now. Oh, there we go. That's absolutely fine. 98.5 Fahrenheit. We just jot that down. There we are, lovely. And the next thing I want to check for is the dilation of the pupils. Now, when we are in love, infatuated, puppy love, whichever level you're at, your pupils do have a habit of dilating, particularly when we think of the person with whom that love is associated. So first of all, I just want you to close your eyes, clear your mind as best as possible. You're going to take a deep breath in and hold it, let it out. And again, a deep breath in, hold it, let it out. Perfect. So hopefully now your mind is cleared, and I just want you to focus on that one person that immediately springs to mind when I ask who you might have some feelings for. That will, your pupils will respond to what's happening in your brain, and I can start to take measurements of your pupils, and depending on how wide they are, I can then make an assessment. Okay, just relax, think of happy thoughts of your lovely one, and I'm just going to take a look now. Okay, just if you just look to your right for me. That's perfect, thank you very much. And look to your left. Amazing. Fantastic. Okay, and relax. I just need to clarify, have you taken any narcotics or anything in the last 24 to 48 hours? Just because sometimes this can have an impact on your pupils also. Right, that's fine, I can just jot that down. Yeah. Well, we're right here by the emergency services, hence you can hear the sirens because, well, we are one of the most important emergency services. I'm sure you understand. Alright, so next thing we're going to do is I just want to take I'm just going to touch first of all your cheeks. I want to feel the temperature. Now I've already taken your temperature, but this doesn't actually gauge when you're blushing, and that's another response to being in love. So if you can just relax for me, again think happy thoughts of your loved one, and I'm just going to touch your face. Do you mind if I just run my hands down your neck? Yeah, sometimes when we get a little bit embarrassed as well, you might get what we call like a flush, where your chest can turn red, your neck might turn red, so I'm just checking to see if there's any response there as well. Okay, that all seems in order. Well done. Just put that down. Okay. So on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is not at all, 10 is extremely, and where 5 is somewhere in the middle, indifferent, I want you to tell me how you feel when you wake up in the morning with regards to your happiness. So, are you happy first thing in the morning? Would you say your scale is a 10? Is it 1, or is it somewhere in the middle? Okay. And your first thought on waking is usually what, would you say, or who? Right, okay, that's fine. I'm going to ask you the same question again about bedtime. Okay, so when it's time for bed, on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is not really bothered, 10 is extremely looking forward to it, excited, and 5 is indifferent. How do you feel about going to sleep at night? Okay. And what is usually your last thought at the end of an evening? That's it. Okay, you just... Alright, so I have managed to come up with a couple of possibilities. Before I do that, I do just want to take a couple of swab samples, if you don't mind. Yeah, so I'm just going to take a piece of your hair, and then whilst I'm doing that, I'm then going to follow up with a bit of an examination. What I'm looking for, to be completely honest, is whether you might have been given a love potion. See whether you have had a love spell cast on you, or also to see whether actually you may have been hit by Cupid's arrow. Now, all of these things could potentially have an impact on how you are feeling at the moment. What I'm trying to establish is whether these feelings that you're having are natural, really occurring, or whether they have been forced upon you. If it's been forced upon you and it's unrequited, that can usually mean quite a lot of medication for you. Okay, so I'm just going to take a hair sample and pop that off into our lab. So you can just keep really, really still for me. Fabulous. I'm just going to pop that, and I'll have our lab run trace elements on that. So next I want to check is your just your upper torso, because usually when Cupid is firing with their arrows, and it's usually the torso they're aiming for, and the reason for that is because of course it's more central to the heart, where most of love grows. So, have you noticed any unusual dents on your skin? Any slight piercings you don't recall getting? Any unusual fevers at all? Okay. I can't actually see anything at the moment. But that's not to say if it was quite some time ago, it could have actually been absorbed into the skin now. So finally, the last question I've got for you is, you talked of the term butterflies. Now, butterflies is an absolutely key indicator of being in love. So what you might find is those butterflies may present themselves quite significantly more so when you are in the presence of said person. Or you might find that they occur when you notice or remember a certain event that involves that person as well. If you are preempting seeing the person, again the butterflies may occur. So I want you to think, and on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is not very many, 10 is absolutely full to bursting, and 5 is somewhere in between, how many butterflies would you say you feel either in your chest or your stomach at the thought or anticipation of such a person? Let's see. Right, well, let me just wait for the computer to do its thing. I'm just going to wait for the sample to come back from your hair. It's really, really quick, and we should have a diagnosis quite quickly. There we go. So, alright, I have your results here. Now, what is it you're hoping for? Because depending on how you're hoping for something and what the outcome is depends on how I'm going to break the news to you. For example, are you interested in unreciprocated love and romance? If yes, then I will obviously break the news with great joy for you. Or if, for example, you're currently not interested in anybody, you're not quite sure why this feeling has occurred, then we can look to address that as well. You're open-minded. Well, that's always good to know. Okay, so I am pleased to be able to tell you today that yes, you are in love, and yes, it is reciprocated. What a lovely, fantastic situation for you to be in, especially so close to Valentine's. Yeah. Well, if you are struggling with any of these feelings, I can offer you... Did I put those? I have a few drops which will help drop onto your tongue, and this just sort of dissipates the nerves, those butterflies, because sometimes when you are in love you might find it a little bit tricky to actually approach that person and speak to them, so these just help to take away that edge of nerves and those butterflies, give you a bit of a confidence boost. Would you like to try these? They're included in my consultation fee, so don't worry about that. Perfect. Alright then, so I'm glad that was the news that you were looking for. Please do recommend me to all of your friends, and well, maybe I don't hope to see you again sometime soon, because if you're back here, it means that this one didn't work out. I'm sure you're going to be absolutely fine. Thank you so much for coming to see me, the Love Doctor. You have a great Valentine.